Does the cessation of hostilities agreement apply to Turkey's actions as well?
You're talking about what? It's shelling over the border?
Kurds,
We have urged Turkey to stop its shelling over the border.
But does this agreement apply to that as well?
I mean, again, we would like Turkey. A cessation of hostility is a cessation of all hostilities on the ground.
Well, Turkish President Erdogan said Turkey has the right to carry out operations in Syria against Kurdish forces because they believe they're terrorists. But since the international community and the U.S. do not consider them terrorists, do you think Turkey has the right to do that?
What we've said, and we've said this last week as well, and our policy has not changed, is that we believe the YPG is not affiliated with the PKK. However, we recognize Turkey's concerns over PKK and terrorism on the ground and its right to defend itself. But we have urged it to stop shelling over the border. We've also told the YPG that it should stop taking actions on the ground in and around Aleppo that, frankly, are counterproductive to the situation on the ground, to a de-escalation of the situation on the ground. So sorry, just to finish. So, as part of a cessation of hostilities, it's incumbent on all the groups within Syria to either buy in or buy out. And if you buy out, if you refuse to participate, then you're making your decision, and you're making it clear that you don't. And that's ultimately the decision of each of these groups on the ground, whether it's the regime, whether it's the opposition, whoever. But it's incumbent on them to live up to the obligations and to buy into the cessation of hostilities. But we've been very clear. We want to see Turkey stop its shelling.
The answer,
that's okay.
The answer implied in your response is no, Turkey does not have the right to attack YPG in Syria.
No, it's okay. It's a perfectly fair question. I'm just saying that we have made it clear to Turkey, while we understand their concerns about the YPG, we wanted to stop its shelling. Please.
Just to follow up on that point, I mean, what if Turkey continues, and in fact accelerates or intensifies its bombardments? What will you do? You will call on them again, and if they refuse, what will you do?
Well, Turkey's a member of the ISSG, the stakeholders group. Ultimately, to be a part of that, you've committed to implementing the cessation of hostilities. So, again, we've talked about this a lot. It's not just, we certainly point a finger at Russia quite often and other members who are, we believe, taking counterproductive actions on the ground in Syria. But it's incumbent on all members of the ISSG to buy into a cessation of hostilities.
Just 2 quick points, just to follow. First of all, on the timing, wasn't this, the 27th of this month? Does that fit with the calendar that was initially suggested by the Russians way back at the beginning of the month? Is that, when they said we needed 3 more weeks and so on, does that fall in that time frame?
I think it's just
coincidental.
Yeah, I think it's coincidental. I think it just reflects the.
Now, the other thing is that, the other groups, the moderate groups, in fact, the Free Syria Army, they say that all bombardments should end, of al-Nusra and ISIS, because they are, they're somehow, they share the same areas and they move from one area to the other. Is that something that you would support? Obviously not. I mean, you're saying that the strikes against ISIS and Nusra will continue. But your allies, the moderates, saying that it all should end. So what is your comment on that?
They fight alongside each other.
And they fight alongside each other.
Look, we've been very clear, and we believe we can delineate between Nusra and Daesh and other moderate opposition groups on the ground. We need to keep up, we need to, at the same time, let me rewind this. At the same time, we put in place a political process and end, we hope, the hostilities on the ground in Syria. We need to continue to put pressure on ISIL. We can't simply call a truce and allow them to be part of any kind of political future in Syria. Is it complex? Certainly. But you understand the principles at stake here. Everybody in the ISSG understands that Daesh represents the enemy, And that's one area of common agreement, frankly.
But let's say someone throws, a mortar or something from areas that overlap, from ISIS, which obviously they will not cease hostility.
I mean, I think there's going to be...
And then, the issue of self-defense that Matt raised,
Yep.
that comes into play. How will this be interpreted then? I mean, so...
I mean, I think it's, and I talked a little bit about this, and Matt scoffed, but, there is going to be...
Say I scoffed.
That's okay. It's okay. It's your role to scoff sometimes, Matt. It's okay. No, it's okay, honestly. But I think, one of the real challenges is you're going to have to have, all members of this task force under the auspices of the UN, working in real time to trade information, exchange information, discuss possible breaches of the ceasefire or cessation of hostilities. You're going to have that exchange, and you're going to have some kind of mechanism that declares whether it is or is not a violation. And Matt's point about whether someone can return fire as in self-defense, it's a valid point. So all these things I think there needs to be a mechanism or a process in place that is agreed to by all that can adjudicate these.
But the problem is, though, that's what you have now. You have these accusations, people trading accusations back and forth, and there's no, and until you actually create that mechanism, I don't understand
as of
how you
Saturday,
expect
we'll
it
hopefully have something in place, and then we can begin that.
But Mark, you said that